Oh, don't mind me. I'm just playing my favorite handheld gaming console of all time, the Nintendo Switch. Which, despite only having a 720p screen with a 60Hz refresh rate, still has games that pretty much beat the ever-loving shit out of every smartphone. I think it's pretty safe to say that most hardcore gamers hate playing games on smartphones. They're microtransaction, greedy, riddled messes that deliberately try to slow you down and your progress, just to try to wring more money out of you. But AAA games pretty much have gone down the same route anyway, so... The reality is, certain types of games only really work with a touch interface. Puzzle games, turn-based RPGs, very, very small, quick games, those are perfectly fine for a smartphone. Something I don't understand, though, for the life of me, is the advent of the gaming phone. Good news, PC gamers, because RGB puke monstrosities are no longer exclusive to case fans or CPU coolers or GPUs. These monstrosities now are in the hands of normies. Considering how diverse the Android ecosystem is, and how many people play games on their phone, there was bound to be, a high-end gaming phone at some point from some manufacturer. I mean, who are gaming phones really made for? Because people who are hardcore into games probably have a console or a Nintendo Switch already. They've moved on from playing phone games. It's just ridiculous that we have phones that are coming with 120Hz refresh rate displays. I mean, who really is a target audience for a gaming phone? Because the overlap between the need of a high refresh rate and a phone is so insanely small. I can't even comprehend multiple companies making a phone like this. It's just strange that phones are getting such high refresh rate displays, because guess what? The best smartphone games don't need a high refresh display. Games like Monument Valley and Plants vs. Zombies and the handful of other few good mobile games, they don't need high refresh rate displays because they're not very action oriented. Do you really need 120Hz for Plants vs. Zombies where the camera is entirely stationary? Do you really need to see, a zombie, eating a plant at 120Hz for a strategy game? And then let's talk about the games that would benefit from a high refresh rate on phones. But games that you're gonna play at a high refresh rate on a phone, you're gonna probably need a controller. What's the point of having these action games on mobile when you need a controller to play them competently anyways? And while Apple Arcade is likely the place where, games that require higher refresh rates that also work with a touchscreen interface would be the most likely to appear, the new iPhones don't have higher refresh rate displays, and I don't see Apple adding 120Hz to the iPhones anytime soon. I mean, PC supports higher refresh rates, and PS5, the next Xbox, are going to support 120Hz next year, and those are pretty much going to have games that wipe the floor with anything mobile can do. And even the Switch, despite not having a 120Hz refresh rate screen, it's going to give you a far better gaming experience than a phone because of the ecosystem and games around it. I mean, is it really that hard of a choice with Breath of the Wild running at 30 frames a second or Oceanhorn running at a theoretical 120? Although, come to think of it, I think Oceanhorn's available on the Switch too, so... Not to mention, the cost of gaming phones is way more than a Switch. I mean, if you really want to go all out with a gaming phone, for games that aren't that good, you're probably going to be spending about $1,200. Meanwhile, the Switch is like, what, $300? $200 if you want the Lite. And while the games are way more expensive, they're surely way, way better. I mean, what are the quality of games that you're getting for $1,200 for a gaming phone compared to $300 for a Nintendo Switch? Now, I'm glad that, you know, phone makers are really pushing higher refresh rates on their flagship models of phones. Not just gaming, but the Pixel 4 recently came out and it has a 90 hertz display. And good on Google for at least pushing the boundaries further. Now, higher refresh rate displays mean jack all for productivity, but good job, Google. The mobile phone market's weird, man. I just don't get it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.